Right, I'm out at the flying field, but really I'm just here to tell you about my experiences at the Kutani Dam, because there's a little bit of a backstory there. You'll see the video, but it was pretty cool. So I took my quads, these two in fact, to the ArduPIlot Developers Conference, and the flying in Japan is quite hard work. So you have to get special permission. In particular, the RF frequencies are heavily regulated, and as far as I know, 5.8 gigahertz is illegal for FPV, and the reason for this, turns out, is that their road toll machines also work at 5.8 gigahertz. Sorry, so we had to get special permission. This quad got signed off, but they didn't realise it had analog 5.8G on it, so it got half signed off without the VTX, and turns out getting the VTX signed off was pretty much impossible because of the wideband of analog. My other quad had walk snail on, again difficult to get that signed off because it was I don't know the reasons. They wanted lots of technical diagrams or anything. So at the last minute, it looked like someone else was getting an HD0 setup signed off, and so I replaced my DJI Cadex on this one with HD0, and I just bought a kit. This was the camera with it. Came from Hobby RC, and this was like the day before I left. So I was madly trying to replace this day before I left. Anyway, it comes to the conference, and they nearly cancel the demo at the Kutani Dam. And I said to Randy, well, surely the camera will decide it. If it's legal, let's do it. If it's not, clearly not. Now, turns out the only camera that was going to be legal was the one I happened to buy accidentally. And so after much toing and froing, I got the camera in the right state, because you had to run it narrow band at a particular frequency. Got it all set up, and the guy said, yep, that's okay, let's go. So we went to the Kutani Dam. My plan was to get Trappy to fly the quad, so I did one run. So I'd never flown HD0 before. This is literally unflown. So I turned up at the Kutani Dam. Quad had been flown before, VTX setup not, and of course it's a dam, so there's this big drop off in the lake below, and so I'm flying out in loiter, never done it before at this place, not with this VTX setup. Seemed okay. Did an acro run, seemed okay, and then the plan was to get Trappy to fly. Unfortunately, Trappy flies mode 1, not mode 2, and my transmitters are all mode 2. So there I am, desperately taking the transmitter apart, because of course it's not the one that you can just fiddle with a screwdriver to change. You have to sort of swap over the gimbals, try and take it over, try and switch over the gimbals as people are arriving, as the press is arriving, and then it turns out I've got a screwdriver that's too small and I can't reach the final screws on the gimbal. So it's like Tridge is standing next to me, said, you just got to put it back together and you're going to have to fly. So that was what happened. I put it back together, and I flew it, and it was fantastic. Now, just a little bit of backstory about the Kutani Dam. So this is the area in Japan, in Kaga, where they're basically making it legal to fly at 5.8 gigahertz. So they've sort of allocated this as a particular area, and I think that's from November. But we were there first with special permission, and I like to say it was the first legal flight. Of course, people fly FPV in Japan Japan anyway, illegally, but I think it was the first, potentially the first legal flight FPV 5.8 gigahertz in Japan. So I will claim that crown and retain it. I have to say it was a lot of fun. I'd love to go back there. It was a beautiful, beautiful place to fly. Quite challenging from an RF perspective, not least because you're sort of up on this hilltop, and then if you're not careful, the hill will get between you and the quad and you can't see anything, or if you dive down, you can't, you know, the signal gets a little bit challenging. Plus, we had everybody with their mobile phones there. We had someone holding a wireless mic under my by my mouth while I'm trying to fly in acro, and I just get snow all the time. And so in the end, I had to get Michelle to fortunately with HD0 you can broadcast to multiple receivers. So Michelle hooked up her goggles to the screen that you'll see there. Unfortunately, she'd forgotten all her antenna, so I had to lend her my only spare antenna. So she had a single antenna, which is why the video quality is not as great as it could have been. Yeah, and I flew and I didn't crash, and ArduPIlot ITL saved me a couple of times. One time I flew round the corner and just complete snow, couldn't see anything at all, hit RTL, copter came straight back. So great fun, very, very nerve-wracking. Enjoyed the videos. Alright, I'm going to narrate this. So, start the video here. So you can see just on the left hand side, you can see where we were viewing from. And this is the takeoff point, which is sort of in this fenced off area just below. And there's sort of the brick, sort of stone wall on the left side. You see me standing up there in the green, with my green shirt on. I've just realised that there's way too much interference trying to sit on the table while I fly. So I come over here, sit down on the wall, just sort of near the takeoff point, and so the video stream you're seeing is not from my goggles; it's from Michelle's goggles. So she's sort of standing over on the left-hand side by the big screen, and that's why the receiving is not so great. You see, it was a beautiful day, nice, lovely temperature. You see the mountains in the background, and you can just see there's sort of a tree almost above me. So it was quite a tight takeoff point. So I was a little bit worried about taking off in acro. So what I did was took off in loiter. So you can see I'm in loiter here, a little bit of snow, partly because the wall is slightly in the way of sort of Michelle's line of sight. Once I take off, the signal's a little bit better. Yeah, just sort of going through my checks. I've got walk snail here. You can see Michelle's actually getting some reception on the other three antennae, even though they're not connected. Okay, so I'm running the fast rate stuff here, so we go to 4 kHz. That means I'm armed. I'm taking off in, just see I took over, and then I switch to acro, and it's like, whoa! But oh gosh, how beautiful is this? The green is actually algae, and you can see the dam in the background here, and then me trying to show off my skills. I just would have loved to have had much better RF frequency, doing a little bit of a loop there, just so I could explore a little bit more. You can see the yellow bus there where we were all hanging out. That was where the press were, the rest of the pilot developers. You can see the dam. I mean, it was just an amazing place to fly, and the weather was absolutely gorgeous. And you see the dam there, just amazing. I mean, you can just imagine coming here up on your own and just exploring everywhere with good antenna and good signal. I would have quite liked. I mean, sitting on top of that box on top of the dam would have been the best position, I think. Oh, there we go. So I got a little bit of the snow there. Managed to keep it. I think my view was better. A few more rolls. and then battery fail safe. See the bus still where we all were, and then hit RTL, and back we come. You can just see the bus there, going quite fast into RTL. Sun in the background, and then I had a bit more at 22 volts. I had more left, but I was understandably nervous with everybody watching. What I didn't want was a crash. You can see just coming down the takeoff point there, coming down. There we go. Down. How beautiful is that? Just a fantastic experience. Just loved it. I would have spent all afternoon there with battery after battery, but couldn't do it. Maybe next time. Good stuff.
My battery's going flat so quickly. It must be the transmitter. Okay, battery's upset. Coming in for RTL.
So we're here at the dam in Japan doing ArduPIlot testing. And it's absolutely beautiful. I wish we could spend more time here. The flight test was successful, no blue smoke, no crashes, but some tales to tell.